namoni na miso na ngai moko ndenge basoda balakisi ekolo etonda na maboko bakata na modele oyo babengaka mesolo.
Moto aza moto. Une personne humaine est une personne humaine. Ce dicton du Haut-Congo veut dire que nul n'a le droit d'attenter à l'intégrité physique ou morale d'une personne. Donc, couper les mains n'a jamais été une de ces soi-disant coutumes étranges des Africains. Couper les mains, c'est une innovation créée et introduite au Congo par les agents de Léopold II.
On the 14th of December 1895, Mr. Sjöblom, Mrs. Banks and myself saw one of these sentries with a basket full of smoked hands. We got the sentry to stop and show us how many he had. He took them out of the basket and laid them in a row before us. 18 right hands of men, women and children. The sentry wanted to beat the woman who was carrying them for him, as he said there ought to be 19 and she had lost one. Surely the king of the Belgians cannot be cognizant of these barbarous proceedings on the part of his servants.
A confidential letter sent by a courtier to the chief executive of the Congo Free State revealed that Leopold was angry about being criticized for the cruelties in the Congo. But the letter also quotes the king as saying, "I know that atrocities are being committed in the Congo. It is useless to try to deny it."
I think one can assume that he knew, maybe not all the details, but that he knew that the system of exploitation of the rubber in the Congo had gruesome effects. The point is, did he consider it gruesome? Probably not. He thought this was the price that has to be paid for economic development or whatever. He didn't care very much. He thought that the profits were more important.
Tango mundela yaki na basoda na ye pona kobama biso. Nakimaki na mwana na ngai ya mobali na mapeka. Lisasi moko elelelaki ngai na litoi. Ezwaki ngai te kasi na kwei na mabele. Tango na telemi, na sundoli mwana na ngai pona koka kokima mbangu. Tango na zongi na ndako, ndeko na ngai ya mobali azalaki kokumba mwana na ngai na maboko. Basi kokata ye loboko moko na likolo. Natikali kosalisa ye.
When soldiers had wasted bullets, they would cut hands from the living to account for the missing cartridges. A canoe carrying state prisoners and a basket of cut hands called it a Protestant mission. The prisoners told how one girl who had had her hand cut off was still alive. The girl's brother was one of the prisoners.
A mission boy told me that he'd heard one of the prisoners saying that his mother had been killed, and that he recognized his young sister's hand in the basket. This mutilated child had fled into the bush with her mother and had stayed by her dead body. 3 days later, the child's father came to the mission, and Mr. Clark sent some men with the father, and they found the child and brought her to the mission. But 6 months later, the girl died.
Antwerp was where the Congo rubber arrived. According to legend, the city's name comes from a confrontation between a Roman soldier and a giant who also cut off hands. Any connection between the city's symbol and cut hands in the Congo is seldom made in Antwerp. It's as though the crimes of the Congo are totally forgotten, or worse, never happened.
Un bilan humain, rien ne l'exprime mieux qu'un adage des gens de l'Équateur. Beto fait boler Iwo, le caoutchouc et la mort. En 1920, le Congo compte 10 millions d'habitants. Par rapport à 1880, c'est 2 fois moins. Donc en 40 ans, le pays a perdu 10 millions de personnes globalement. Mais dans certaines localités, les pertes s'élèvent à 60, 70, 90%. Donc le caoutchouc a été la catastrophe. Jamais les peuples du Congo n'avaient connu un désastre pareil.
Daniel van Groenwegen's exposé Red Rubber brought the atrocities to Belgian attention in the 1980s, and he faced a barrage of criticism.
Le grand problème, c'était les anciens coloniaux, surtout des militaires. L'association Pro-Belgica, qui regroupe, disons, 61 associations patriotiques, a fait une lettre de réclamation et une demande d'enquête au ministre de l'Éducation nationale. À ce moment-là, j'étais professeur à l'Athénée ici à Ostende, où on est maintenant. Alors là, il disait que ça insultait le roi, etc. Il voulait vraiment ôter mon pain. Donc il m'accusait des pires méfaits contre Léopold II.
Van Groenwegen had spent 10 years researching the Congo Free State and getting little encouragement in Belgium. The surviving records of Leopold's Congo are kept underground by the Belgian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You can look, but you can't touch. Many of the documents here are considered too sensitive to be released, even today.
On ne pouvait même pas voir l'inventaire. Très souvent, elles amenaient des portfolios qui étaient mis en demi-vide. Hein. Et puis le soir, beaucoup de chercheurs devaient laisser leurs notes et le lendemain matin, ils les recevaient, mais avec des pages retirées, parce que c'était top secret, c'était raison d'État, etc., etc.
The king, it seems, is still protected by his subjects. The rape of a country and countless deaths are nothing compared to preserving the image of royalty. And anyway, it all happened a long way away in a far-off place. It was in the Equator province where many of the worst abuses occurred. Leopold had divided the Congo into separate districts, each under the control of a commissioner, most often recruited from and paid by the Belgian army. The Equator was run by an official who stands out as one of the great villains of the Congo Free State. Leon Fieve was a master in the use of violence to increase the rubber exports.
He collected rubber in enormous quantities, at a rate of 1 ton a day, it said. Common report on the Congo states that he caused more than 1,000 persons to be mutilated. It's also reported that he boasted of the cruelties, and certainly the result of them is evident to this day, for the people fled from the district in their thousands and have never returned.
Leon Fieve was districtscommissaris in Equateurstad en hij schrijft dus in een rapport aan de gouverneur, zegt hij, kijk, ik heb 1300 mensen gedood. We hebben 162 dorpen volledig verwoest. Er zijn brand gestoken. De plantaties van de mensen, de moestuintjes, allemaal afgehakt. Zodanig dat ze in feite gaan uithongeren. En zegt hij, de chefs hebben allemaal beloofd van rubber te leveren. We hebben hen gezegd dat ze dus een 1500 mandjes moesten brengen van ongeveer 15 kilo. Dus laten we zeggen een kleine 25.000 kilo per maand. En hij antwoordde dat. Hij zei, ik heb maar 3000 en zoveel cartouches verschoten.
When General Wahis, Governor-General of the Congo, made an official visit to the Equator region in 1896, even he called it the land of horrors. Fieve had no qualms about the level of brutality. He perfectly understood that the state existed only to make money and that rubber was the key. For Leopold, Fieve was the perfect employee, loyal, efficient and resourceful.
Je réunis les chefs des villages voisins et leur ordonne de me rapporter un certain nombre de chikwang, du poisson, etc. Au jour convenu, pas de chikwang. Devant cette mauvaise volonté manifeste, je leur fais la guerre. Un exemple suffit, sans tête tranchée, et depuis lors les vivres abondent dans la station. Mon but est en somme humanitaire. Je supprime 100 existences, mais cela permet à 500 autres de vivre.
Bendo baso basengeli kuyeba fieve lokola satana yikwatel. Namonaki. Nazalaki elenge. Soda mololo kubatela mboka boyeka. Kukamata moleka monene. Kokotse okatine yango batu zomi. Bakangamaki. Kukamata mabanga minene. Kukangamana moleka monene. Kutindika. Pe kuboka kuibali. Koya ya matope mamakambo mingi mabe mabotani. Yango wana tolingi kuyoka kombo e na lisusu te.
Boyeka, where Fieve's men drowned the villagers, is still there today. The people still make their living by fishing, still suffer from exploitation, war and poverty. In many ways, very little has changed since Leopold's time.
C'est-à-dire qu'en ayant lu et sachant ce qui s'est passé ici il y a 100 ans, brusquement je me trouve dans ces lieux, il y a visiblement un choc parce que j'imagine ce que ça a dû être pour ces gens avec leur manière d'être et leur genre de vie, de voir brusquement, sans raison, sans explication, des gens qu'on ne connaît pas, à qui on n'a pas demandé de venir ici, voir brusquement ces gens ici faire des choses qui n'avaient absolument aucune explication. Ça, je crois que c'est le grand problème, c'est à la fois les atrocités et surtout quel sens donner à ces atrocités. Ça n'avait pas de sens et c'était complètement absurde. Et je crois que aujourd'hui, je ressens le choc que ces gens-là ont dû subir devant des choses aussi insensées, aussi absurdes. Pourquoi? Pourquoi nous? Pourquoi ici? Pourquoi maintenant?
All that mattered to Leopold was to keep up the supply of rubber. But to get the Congolese to work hard, he had to find a way to make his agents work hard as well. A confidential message went to the Governor General. Leopold was transmitting his greed to the agents. The state was going to pay commission to stimulate zeal.
Le commandant Meus a passé l'inspection de mon poste. À son départ, il m'avait bien recommandé de m'occuper activement de la récolte du caoutchouc. Et de 360 kg en septembre, j'ai monté